The Lakers come back from down 22 in the first half to beat the Phoenix Suns 123-116 and open the season 2-0 for the first time since 2010. How did it happen? That's next on Locked On Lakers.
You are Locked On Lakers, your daily Los Angeles Lakers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thanks for making Locked On Lakers your first listen every day of the week, Monday through Friday, and occasionally on weekends when the Lakers are playing. Always free, never behind a paywall. Locked On Lakers on YouTube is where you can hang out with over 25,000 Laker fans, an awesome community of really smart, funny, enthusiastic fans who are undoubtedly geeked about the Lakers pulling off this huge comeback. They were down 22 points in the first half and just kept chipping away, and eventually end up beating the Suns for a 123-116 win. They are 2-0 for the first time since the beginning of the 2010-2011 season, when Kobe and Powell and those guys were going for, unfortunately, the three-peat that did not happen. Interestingly enough, the team that they beat, 114-106, the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix, but still an odd bit of kismet there. And look, this game was rough for the Lakers to begin. Just a combination of transition buckets at the rim for Phoenix, and especially just incredible shooting from behind the arc. Phoenix opened the season. By the way, Brian not here tonight, just me, solo show, but break down everything that happened. Phoenix opened the game 8 of 11 from behind the arc, which is just insane. Like everybody from the usual suspects, Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, down to rookie Ryan Dunn, were just scorching. Some of this was, I think, really good ball movement by Phoenix. They began the first half just pinging that ball all over the place, getting the Laker defense scrambled. Some of these I actually think were pretty well contested shots, but either way, everybody on Phoenix was hot. But after the 8 of 11 start from behind the arc, they went 9 of 26 afterwards, 35%, much more manageable. And the Lakers, like they did for the entirety of game one, very, very cold from behind the arc, 1 of 5 in the first quarter. So they're losing that math game on top of not taking care of the ball in the beginning of the game as well as they did in the second half. But they just stayed with it. And continuing the trend that we saw in game one, they played extremely hard with a lot of urgency and intensity, just kept fighting. They never got out of character in the game or began panicking. Austin Reaves was a huge catalyst for regaining momentum and I think some mojo for the last 6 or so minutes in the first half. There was a series of possessions, one where he had really good defense isolated on Devin Booker. It led to a miss. Lakers end up running, and Reaves set up Anthony Davis at the rim. 1 or 2 trips down, Austin Reaves let a flyby go by after a Jusuf Nurkic turnover from a Gabe Vincent steal. He hits that shot that leads down to 14. Reaves then drew a charge, the new possession. He runs another pick and roll with Anthony Davis, sets up a dunk. Phoenix calls timeout. And it just felt like the Lakers were getting back in this thing towards the end of the first half. Austin Reaves had a steal, this really slick behind the back dribble, got to the rack to finish a layup against a challenge. And that's when the Lakers end up going into halftime down just 9. They had a 26-13 run to close the first half. And it just felt like they had stemmed a tide and that Phoenix was, in reality, doing something unsustainable. Like my very well documented skepticism about the Suns notwithstanding, they were not going to continue to shoot like 70 to 80% from behind the arc. Like the worst part of it, they had stemmed. And as the game kept going, Anthony Davis really put his stamp on this game. He was just way too big for Phoenix to control. 35 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, He had 2 blocks, 17 trips to the line, made 13 of them. LeBron, strong fourth quarter, 6 points, 3 assists. I believe on back-to-back post-ups, he set up Gabe Vincent and then Rui Hachimura. After backing down both low and high on the floor, like, you just started seeing what we expect from LeBron, taking over these games, even though, again, like, you're just seeing Anthony Davis is establishing himself as more of this team's closer. The Lakers began hitting threes as a team after a rough game one and a preseason where they could not hit jack other than, the Dalton Knecht explosion. 14 of 27 from behind the arc, 51%. Austin Reaves, 5 of 7. Rui, LeBron, Dalton Knecht each hit 2. I thought it was a good game from Rui. He finished with 14 points, 7 rebounds. Again, that emphasis on rebounding. He had a really slick pass inside to Jaxson Hayes after an up fake, just like a bullet pass. Even Billy and Stu were kind of like with love and affection laughing because nobody, frankly, ever expects Rui to make that pass or to have the instinct to pass. But he set up Jaxson on a really nice feed at the rim. Jaxson Hayes, by the way, too, it should be noted, the stats in and of themselves will not jump off the page. 6 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, although 18 minutes, nothing to sneeze at, a block and a steal. He played really, really well in this game. He had a few sequences of 2-man game with Austin Reaves, dribble handoffs, screening for each other, movement, stuff like that. Jaxson Hayes is off to a terrific start. And this is really important because he is the only healthy big on this team not named Anthony or Davis. And the more playable Hayes is, first of all, it just makes life easier for AD and even to a lesser extent LeBron and Rui as really the only other 3 guys providing size on this team. It makes it possible for AD to play alongside another big if that's the look that they want to do, which so far JJ Redick has been inclined to do. I don't remember who it was on Twitter at Cam Brothers pointing out to me when I tweeted out about how well Jaxson was playing. I hadn't thought about it along these terms, but Hayes is providing some of the energy that this team looks for from Jared Vanderbilt and often really needs. And that he has been not just playable to open the season, but actually quite good, I think is something that could fly under the radar, but is actually a really big deal for this team. And Dalton Knecht, very big in the first half. It wasn't quite at the same level of Reaves, but I thought Knecht played a big role in getting the Lakers back into this game, had a really big spark, 8 points in the first half to go along with 2 assists. He had a steal, also a few good possessions defensively. And if Knecht can maintain, I think, the defensive integrity we've seen in the opening 2 games, which is basically solid enough. There's going to be a couple possessions where he looks like a rookie that's going to get targeted, but then there were others where I thought he handled himself pretty nicely. Once Vando and Christian Wood return, I don't know exactly what the rotation is going to look like, but he ain't losing minutes. Certainly he ain't losing his spot if he's playing like this because he's just so much more dynamic offensively than any other option they have off the bench. I mean, if nothing else, until Christian Wood returns. But even then, I mean, I feel like Knecht just has a little bit more bounce. He's got a little bit more off the dribble moves. He provides a dimension off the bench that I think this team really can use. And he does not play like a rookie, even if there will be rookie mistakes at times. So again, really impressive win for the Lakers, mounting this type of comeback. They are, again, 2-0 for the first time in 14 years, which feels crazy to say, but here we are. I mean, even remember the second very, very short season of Mike Brown's tenure, the team opened, I want to say like 0-5 or 1-5, something like that. That led to Mike Brown's quick dismissal. They had rough starts under pretty much every other regime. Even the year that they won the championship in 2020, they lost the opener. So it has been a long time since the team has gotten off to this type of start. It's extremely important, with just building that belief within themselves with this roster that had no real change other than bringing in Dalton Knecht and a truly first-time head coach. These wins are important, not to mention the West is, as always, a beast to deal with. So they're going to be back at the crypt against the Sacramento Kings. Not sure if Brian and I will be there to break down this game. We're going to try to afterwards, but either way, this was huge for the Lakers and just a really entertaining game. And I imagine fans are, small sample size, don't want to get ahead of yourselves, but this has been a very, very promising opening 2 games. Also, shout out to Freddie Freeman, walk-off grand slam, SoCal kid for the Dodgers, game 1 of the World Series, walk-off granny on a night where you are honoring the life and legacy of Fernando Valenzuela. That does not get much better than that. Before we go, I want to make sure that everybody knows that Locked On Lakers is brought to you by FanDuel. NFL fans, you can enjoy the season with big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Let's say you get a hunch in the middle of a game and it just feels like you can predict everything before it happens. You can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. So all that info streamlined, and you can get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Plus the 24-25 NBA season, obviously upon us. And as of this recording, the odds for winning the West, the Thunder were the clubhouse favorites at 3-1. The Mavs, Wolves, and Nuggets were tied at 5-1. The Lakers, get these while you can because the odds are probably going to get worse, 19-1. Last I checked, and the Kings, who they will be playing again Saturday night, 22-1. That's FanDuel.com. Locked On Lakers also brought to you by Game Time. And my daughter and I, she's 13, we have bonded a lot over the years through music. Right now, Frank Ocean is somebody that we both really enjoy listening to. She's obsessed with him. She lets me know all the time he has not put out an album in about 8 years, but she keeps hearing rumors that he could be back in the studio, which would mean a tour. And I promised her if he goes out touring, I'm going to get his tickets, even though I know they're going to be difficult to get if I wasn't using Game Time, because they make it easier. You actually look forward to finding tickets with new features like Game Time Picks, filters out all of the confusing flowery verbiage and just shows you incredible deals on great seats, saves you time. They offer panoramic seat views so you know exactly what the view to the stage is going to be like, all the surroundings. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Might see you Saturday night. Definitely will see you Sunday night. Either way, big win for the Lakers. Thanks to everyone for being here, and talk to you soon.